Hello everybody, I hope you are doing well in these special times, and I think also our virtual meeting today is special. Well, I'm happy to give you a brief update today on the latest developments in the radio industry in Switzerland. The radio industry in Switzerland has been working closely together since 2014 with the aim of jointly managing the switch off of FM. At the time, the aim was that FM would be switched off by the end of 2024 at the latest, and that radio programs would only be broadcast on digital channels. We have done a lot of work in the last few months. The radio industry wants to move forward and make the switch from FM to DAB earlier. We all know it, Switzerland is in the heart of Europe, but not always in the heart of the Europeans. But today, there is good news as far as radio is concerned. Although, or perhaps because we have 4 languages and 4 different cultures here, major projects always have to be discussed particularly carefully. This also applies to the switch from FM to DAB. The radio industry has therefore developed a plan on how to implement the switch from FM to DAB. And that looks like this. According to the plan, the public broadcaster SRG SSR will take its FM stations out of service in August 22. On the other hand, the private radios will switch their FM stations by January 23 at the latest. The radio industry signed such an agreement in August this year, and this is the way we want to go now. SRG SSR has already agreed to this plan and is ready to switch off its FM stations 6 months earlier to make it easier for private radio stations to switch over. On the other hand, the private radio associations are now seeking the approval of their members for this plan by the end of November. We are quite optimistic that we will succeed in implementing this plan. But the radio industry is not alone in this process. We are getting a lot of support, especially from the Federal Office of Communications, OFCOM. But what does this support involve? To discuss this question, we have an appointment with Bernard Meissen, the new director of OFCOM. Join me for a visit with him.
Thanks for having me today, Bernard. You were a journalist, you were editor-in-chief of Switzerland's largest news agency. You were responsible for the media sector at OFCOM, and since 4 months you're the new director of OFCOM, the regulation authority. I have to quote it, now you're responsible for the media, postal and telecommunication services and the implementation of Switzerland's digital strategy. There are many topics on your desk.
Yes, Iso, that's true. It's many new topics I have, but most of them concern the digitalization. So all the problems around this issue are common for me, not really new. And I realize that there are a lot of similarities independent in which sector you are working. And so I see I have a good team who helps me to enter in these discussions in new fields with new partners. It's very interesting, and as you told, I've been a journalist, so I'm curious to learn new things.
Well, let's talk about the planned switch off. But however, there are still some voices that say, well, DAB is an outdated technology, the main focus should be on the internet, on IP technology, that should be in the focus. Is DAB even needed as a transitional technology at all?
Oh yes, I think it's really needed as a technology. In this situation, you don't really know in which way it will continue with radio. DAB Plus is through it's something on the 80s. 80s is a long time ago, but it's still a very important channel for broadcasting, free on air. That's what the people want, and perhaps we have also to realize that it will be not as till now one big channel and nothing else. The future will be a lot of channels, and DAB Plus will be the most important for a long while, and then let's see.
In the recent years, the OFCOM has tried to support DAB with technology subsidies. Why has this form of financing been chosen and what was the idea behind it?
Well, as the industry made the decision to switch off, the decision was taken in 2014, we saw that it will be difficult without subsidies to really motivate the radio stations to make this move. So we decided, okay, let's help with subsidies, with technology subsidies. It's a easy way. It's not a way who is dangerous for the independence of the radio station. That would also be very interesting. And it's very important that DAB is really present and everybody knows DAB. It was also some campaign about the DAB as this is, what's the advantage. So that was not common in the society, and so we paid also for this marketing for the industry. I think, as you know, Switzerland with this very little radio stations, it would not be possible that they paid both FM and DAB plus, and to make the transition it was the best way to pay for 6-7 years the big part of the double costs they had.
If the industry now definitely decides to switch off FM, OFCOM intends to continue to support this process. What is in planning there?
Well, a migration can only be successful if the infrastructure is there, if it is well established and the audience is using this infrastructure. So they have to buy DAB radios, that's important. So we try really the rollout to make it in the tunnels for the highways, that you can everywhere really receive DAB+. Then you make image campaign for selling DAB radios. You help the car drivers that they can install it in their cars, the DAB plus receiver. All this thing is very important, because only if there are a lot of DAB users, the switch off will be successful. We cannot lose too many listeners from FM to DAB plus, because when they are once gone, it's very hard to get them back.
Bernard, thanks a lot for your information, for this interview. Stay healthy and see you.
Thank you, Iso. See you next time.
Well, we are quite optimistic about the FM shutdown, and the latest data on usage also puts us in a positive mood. Our research manager, Jessica Aleman, gives us an overview with the latest numbers.
Hi everybody, thank you for having me here. I'm happy to present the results of the last survey on DAB usage in Switzerland. Here are a few key figures concerning the survey. Since autumn 2015, the DigiMig survey is carried out twice a year, spring and autumn. The aim is to follow up trends in radio usage of the Swiss population above 15 with different reception modes, FM, IP and DAB. The study is based on an online survey combined with phone interviews in order to picture also offliners who represent 7% of the Swiss population. The latest wave of the study is the Spring Wave 2020. However, this wave was carried out in this May during the shutdown in Switzerland caused by COVID-19. So the latest developments will need to be compared with future survey figures. As said before, we've been following the digital journey through this survey since 2015. Digital radio is on the rise and replacing FM radio. In 2015, we were still at 50-50 of analog and digital usage. In spring 2019, FM and DAB were at the same level. Today, 39 out of every 100 radio minutes are listened to via DAB. IP usage is growing more slowly but has now overtaken FM too. With a result of 29%, FM is now the least used reception mode. Digital radio is on the rise in every region of Switzerland. Today, DAB is the most popular reception mode in German-speaking Switzerland as well as in French-speaking Switzerland. In Italian-speaking Switzerland, IP radio is number one. Digital radio now accounts for at least 64% of usage in every age group. Digital migration is most advanced among young people, with IP radio being the strongest vector. DAB is more popular within the older age groups. Taking into account every place of usage, radio is mostly used at home. 64% of total DAB usage is generated here, but DAB has become the most used reception mode not only at home, but also at work and in a car, where digital radio has overtaken FM too. Now, DAB and IP account together for 55% of the overall usage while driving in a car. Finally, let's have a look at how each reception mode reaches the population. In the previous slides, we showed the usage time in minutes, expressed in percentage, meaning the usage volumes. Here, we show individuals and how they consume radio per reception mode independently from their usage volume. We can see that 13% of the population still use analog radio exclusively, but 3/4 of the population uses digital radio as well, or even exclusively. And further progress in the digitalization of radio use can be expected.
So much for now. Best regards from Zurich and enjoy the rest of the convention. See you soon, hopefully in real life. Bye.